G is for God. G, God. G is for God. G, God. The one in which we love and worship with all our hearts. The one that is above all the world, all the humans, all of the creations is our great big God. Not only is God above everything, He created everything. G is for God who made you and me. G is for God that created everything. Jesus being, drum roll please, the light of the world. Jesus was and is the light of the world. Ooh, what does it mean to be the light of the world? Well, before Jesus, people weren't doing very good things in the world, and it was making God sad. But then God sent His amazing begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to be the light of the world, to shine His beautiful, bright, kind heart to everyone that meets Him. Oh, Jesus being the light of the world made people so happy because it gave people hope. It gave people joy. It gave people a reason to be happy. That's why when I think about Jesus being the light of the world, it makes me happy. And friends, I've got a very important scripture for you to always remember, that Jesus is the light of the world. John 1 verses 9. The one who is the true light, who gives light to everyone, was coming into the world. I'm going to read that again, my friends. John 1 verses 9. The one who is the true light, who gives light to everyone, was coming to the world. God is telling us that Jesus is the true light, because Jesus is God, but He was coming onto the earth as a human being like you and me, to be the true light, to be the true source of life. Oh, how Jesus was the light of the world and is the light of the world. But friends, Jesus calls us to do something very important. Would you like to know what it is?
Yay!
Yay! Jesus has called you and me to be the light of the world. Do you know what that means, my friends?
No!
I will tell you. Jesus wants us to follow the way He was, to be kind, to be loving, to be caring, oh, to be Christ-like. That is why we are Christians, to be the light of the world. When people look at us, they will probably think, wow, this person is so kind, this person is so loving, and that is because Jesus is in us and He wants us to be the light. And you know what will help you think about being the light? I'm going to show you. I have a lamp. Look at my lamp. And look at the button so I can turn it on. And imagine I am in a dark room where people do not know about Jesus. All I have to do is walk into the room, and then gonna turn it on now. Lights! You walk into the room and you are the light of the room, the light of wherever you go, because Jesus is shining through you and calls you to be the light in a dark place. So Jesus is the only way. There is no other way but Jesus. You need to believe that and know that in your heart, friends. Say it with me. Jesus is the only way. And the special verse that helps me with this quote is from John 14 verses 6. Let me read it for you, friends. Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Wow, what a powerful, powerful verse. And friends, it is so important that we know that. We live in a world where people don't really know who they are. They don't really know the true God. And I just want to say, friends, we should respect and love everyone. We should never hate different people, but we should always know that Jesus is the way. Some people may not believe that, and that's fine. We can love them and still pray for them, but you and me, as believers of Jesus Christ, must always know the only way to our true God is through Jesus. And that's why I say the quote of the day is, Jesus is the only way. Because Jesus is the only way. Jesus, salt of the world. And friends, you're probably thinking, huh? Salt? What does salt have to do with Jesus? But my friends, I am going to teach you today that Jesus is like salt in our lives, and how Jesus calls us to be salt in the world. Look what I have. I have salt, 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 salt. Let's look at salt. Are you ready to see the salt, my friends?
Yay!
Yay! I'm going to pour some salt in so you can see just what salt looks like. What do we do with salt, my friends? Yes, we sprinkle salt on food. Yum, yum, yum. I like to sprinkle my salt on chips. Because it makes it that much more tasty. I like to add salt when I'm cooking food. Just like this. Can you see my salt falling? Friends, salt makes everything taste so much better, doesn't it, my friends? You will be surprised, my friends. Even in sweet food, there's a little bit of salt added just to give it that extra yummy, scrummy taste. And friends, When I think about salt and how it makes so much food taste better, I think about wonderful Jesus when he came into our lives and I accepted him in my heart. He made everything better. He made my mind better. He made my heart so much better and full of joy and happiness. He made my whole life better because he added his goodness, my friends. When we think about Jesus, we need to think about just how amazing he is and how he makes our life better. It's like Jesus sprinkles his goodness all over us, and we are better because of it, friends. And friends, I want to read you a special story from the Bible, my friends. And you will remember last time we read a book in our children's Bible called Sermon on the Mount, when Jesus preached to so many people and told so many amazing stories to teach us how to live and to be like Jesus. So friends, we know that Jesus is salt, tasty, and makes things better in our lives. And Jesus calls us to be just like him. To our friends, to our family, to everyone around us at school, at home, and at the park. He wants us to be like him. He wants us to actually be also like salt. Friends, I am going to read from one of my special Bibles to tell you what Jesus says about us being salt in this world. Friends, I am going to read from Matthew 5 verses 13. You are salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be worn out and trampled under people's feet. Friends, this is such an important message. When salt is good, oh, how it makes people's lives so much more tastier and better. But Jesus is teaching us, when the salt is bad and mixed with things that are not like Jesus, it is useless. Nobody likes salt that tastes disgusting. You will throw the food away. When the salt is mixed with something that tastes awful, and Jesus is telling us we need to be like him, but pure, good, loving, and kind, to make people's lives so much more better. My lovely friends, we are called to be the salt of the world. My lovely friends, remember Matthew 5 verses 13. We are called to be the salt of the world. We need to be like salt, sprinkle goodness to the world. We need to be like salt, sprinkle goodness to the world. We need to be like salt, sprinkle goodness to the world. Just like Jesus sprinkled his love to the world. We need to be like salt, Sprinkle goodness to the world. We need to be like salt. Sprinkle goodness to the world. We need to be like salt. Sprinkle goodness to the world. Just like Jesus sprinkled his goodness to the world. We need to be like salt. Sprinkle goodness to the world. We need to be like salt. Sprinkle goodness to the world. We need to be like salt. Sprinkle goodness to the world. Just like Jesus sprinkled his love to the world. Just like Jesus sprinkled goodness to the world. Friends, let's be like salt and sprinkle God's love, Jesus' love, all to the world, to our friends, to our family, to everyone, by being kind, by being patient, by being loving, and by showing forgiveness, my friends. Those are the fruits of the Spirit. God wants us to have the fruits of the Spirit, my friends. So let's be like salt and sprinkle goodness to the world. We are going to be learning about today when Jesus set you apart. I wonder what being set apart means. Oh, I have a very special verse that will help us to know what it means to be set apart, to be different from the rest of the world, because we have Jesus living in our hearts. Would you like to hear the special verse? Okay, I'm going to read to you the very special verse from the Bible. So it is 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 9 to 10. But you are the ones chosen by God, chosen for the high calling of priestly work, chosen to be a holy people, God's instruments to do his work and to speak out for him, to tell others of the night and day difference he made for you, from nothing to something, from rejected to accepted. Friends, oh my gosh, that message made me feel so happy, because that is God telling me that he has chosen me to do his very special work, chosen me to be the light of the world. Do you remember that video, my friends? To be the light of the world. I am chosen to be a vessel, to be an image of Jesus Christ, to tell people about his beautiful and wonderful love. But not only tell people about his beautiful and wonderful love, but to be like Jesus, to act like Jesus. Friends, I would like you to have a very big think about how you could be set apart from the world. Think about your life at school. Think about your life at home. Think about your life when you go to the park, or when you go to a special trip to the zoo, or on holiday. Think about how you can be set apart. I have an idea. When you are at school and when someone new comes into the school and they are scared and afraid, by you being so kind and so loving, you will be showing them the love of Jesus. When you are so kind to new people, especially when other children aren't being that kind and aren't being that welcoming. You can be the difference. That is being set apart. Can you think of something else? Yes, sometimes other children can be very unkind to other children. They can bully other children and they can laugh at other children, and sometimes other children laugh because they think, oh, everybody else is doing it, so I can do it too. But Jesus does not want us to be this way, and this is how you can be set apart. Instead of laughing with the rest of the children when someone gets hurt, you can be the difference. You can check if that child is okay. You can say to the people that are laughing, it's not nice to laugh at other people. But don't worry, friends, if they be mean to you, you go to your teacher and tell them what happened. But you know, in that special moment, you were set apart from the world and you acted like Jesus Christ, kind and loving. Another way you can be set apart is not being ashamed, not being scared to say, I love Jesus and I go to church. Some people feel shy to speak about their love for Jesus and to talk about how they go to church. But Jesus calls us to be brave, to be strong in his name, that we can boldly say, I go to church and I love going to church. I love learning about my wonderful Jesus Christ. Friends, I have just thought about a very special man of God from the Bible. Would you like to know his name?
Yay!
Okay, I will tell you this very special man of God's name from the Bible. His name was Noah. Oh, friends, Noah is an amazing example about someone who is set apart for God, that loved God so much that he did not care what he looked like to the world. And oh, how God rewarded him for being obedient, for obeying God and following his instructions. Noah was laughed at by other people because he was building an ark, because God told him to build an ark. Noah did not care how people laughed at him because he knew that God loved him. He knew that God would never let him down. So instead of being like everybody else and laughing and not listening to God, Noah listened to God and built an ark, even though it took him so long. And probably Noah was very tired, but Noah kept on going. And you know what? That's a big character of Jesus Christ. Do you see how Jesus is in all of these amazing man of God stories? Because Noah was showing the braveness and the character of Jesus, being set apart and making a big difference in the world. If it wasn't for Noah, the animals and the human race through him wouldn't be here. Because he followed Jesus Christ, he knew that God was by his side. Let's give Noah a big round of applause. My lovely friends, let's be set apart. Let's show that Jesus is the only way through our actions. We just thought of loads of good ideas to show us how to be set apart. But even sharing your food, even sharing your toys, even standing up for what is right is being set apart. I am going to read that special verse for you one more time, and may it live in your hearts. 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 9 to 10. But you are the ones chosen by God, chosen for the high calling of priestly work, chosen to be a holy people, God's instruments to do his work and speak out for him, to tell others of the day and night difference he made for you, from nothing to something, from rejected to accepted. Friends, you can speak to mommy and daddy, auntie and uncle, brother and sister about this special verse. You can speak about how it makes you feel to know that you are a chosen people. You are God's precious and beautiful chosen people, that you are alive for such a time as this, and that you are chosen to be his spokesman, to speak out, to live the way Jesus wants you to live, because he loves you so much, and you could be the reason why people know the love of Jesus. Do you know how special that is, my friends? To be set apart, to be chosen by Jesus, to be loved by Jesus. God loves me. God loves me. God loves me. Because the Bible tells you so.